I hope that this finds you doing well on the second day of the new moon in Aquarius, January 2025, January 30th. I'm going to do the tarot card of the year. I did this last year and my predictions were right on. And that's pretty fun. Some of my predictions were kind of radical too. So I had like embarrassed about it. I had erased them and then reposted them and erased them. And the platform that they were on no longer exists anyway. And it's not like a lot of people saw it anyway. But for my own enjoyment, it's nice to have this. It can be like a little vlog for me, or it may reach the people that it's meant to reach. So the way that we calculate the tarot card of the year is by adding up all the digits of the year, so 2025, and then you bring that down until it nets. So this year's number nets to a 9. So in the tarot cards, the 9, we end up with the Hermit, and this is right on. Look at that, beautiful. I love this card. So I was reading in a decolonization tarot book about some alternative interpretations of this card, and it's really an interesting card to really look into. I'm getting that we're kind of getting pulled back into some of the energies that we had during the pandemic, where people were convinced or encouraged to withdraw, to kind of go inward, to not be as connected, or choose the people that they're going to be connected with and kind of exclude other people, go into little pods. I feel like that's going to be happening again. And it might not be happening as much because of disease, hopefully not because of disease, but more because of technology. I think I'm sensing that technology is going to be controlled more and limited more. It's going to be kind of like, here, you can have it. No, you can't. Oh, here, do you want it? Do you not want it? So I think people are going to be kind of withdrawing. I'm noticing a lot of people are already withdrawing from a lot of technological platforms and just kind of looking within. We have a lantern here too, lighting up the dark. I feel like the Hermit is the wise one, is the one who, it's like the opposite of the Magician. The Magician's more kind of like the newer one, using the tricks. The Hermit is more like been there, done that, and there's an ability to kind of have a sense of quiet. Here's another depiction of the Hermit. I really like this one a lot. It's like nice, cozy, read some books. So, okay, so the intuitive stuff that I'm getting around the Hermits here. Technology is going to start to be limited, start going inward, start putting things down on paper more, try to save the paper things that you have, start collecting books maybe, and reading things off of books instead of Kindles, maybe write journal in books more than online. What else with the Hermit? The lantern is a big deal here. I feel like the lantern, for me, the intuitive hits that I'm getting with the lantern reminds me of the Jewish community or Jewish folks. I have some friends who are Jewish, and there's a story in their spiritual path around oil for the lantern and all of the work that it took to keep the oil in the lantern and the miracle of the oil in the lantern. This is also the archetype for Aquarius, and we're in Aquarius energy right now. So it can feel cold to some degree, analytical. It can feel that way until we find that place within where there's peace. until we find that place within where we accept ourselves and we're willing to start really looking at how do we see the world? How do we see the world without the influence of commercials, without the influence of billboards, without the influence of the algorithms on the internet that are made and designed to get us to purchase things? What is our internal knowing? So Aquarius energy, which is also the star archetype, this is the Hermit, but it's also Aquarius archetype, is very much like the information is from within. And it's either finding that information that's within and getting validated by finding it without, but in a less public manner. Finding it validated through books, finding it validated through people who are taking note of history and preserving history, and the various different storytellers of history. The light from the lantern goes in so many different directions. You notice how that star has so many different directions. So it's mastered the ability to see things from many perspectives. And it's also about making it to the other side of the cave or the void. This is the card of sort of the shaman to some degree. The shaman. If shamanism was an archetype, this would be it. It's the one who can kind of settle, can recognize that there's a lot going on to make us feel a lot of different ways. And there's a lot going on that we could feel a lot of different ways about, but also remembering the big picture. This also reminds me of like underground tunnels. I remember when I did, like ages and ages ago, when I was practically a kid, I did bartending in Chicago, and some of these big parties would be in these huge, very old buildings, and there's tunnels underneath these buildings, and the tunnels lead from one building to another. This kind of makes me think of like some like guiding, an act of guiding, wisdom and knowing the way through. The only way out is through, but knowing the way through, and using and preserving that oil that is needed for those lanterns to get to the other side. So with Aquarius, this being the card of Aquarius, which is the star, and things are very cold out, so he's got the cloaks on. These are very cold. I mean, she's not dressed super cold, but she's indoors. Things are very cold in Aquarius because Aquarius has to do with the star. It has to do with the big picture, and outer space is super cold. But the journey of Aquarius is to get to Leo, which is the sun. It's the polar opposite of Leo, and it's sort of like the heat only exists because of the cold. It's needed. They need each other like night and day. So some mystics are saying that the sun is also a card of this year. And so here we have the sun card, and it's so pretty. Look at that. And there's a person riding a horse, not into the sunset, but just, so the sun is about really just shining light on things that we're not aware of. A lot of things are going to be coming to light this year, and I don't think that's any secret. Here's another depiction of the sun card. Very opposite of the Hermit. It's really just polar opposite, and it's just like, hey, see what's up. So a lot of people are going to be seeing what's up this year, and that's the major arcana. And traditionally in some decks, this is also the card of this year, the moon, because it nets to a 9. So here we have the moon, the person, their eyes are covered, and that's basically, they know what they know, and they don't have to see it to know it with their eyeballs. They just know. They can feel it. They can sense it. People might think that they're kind of like loco la cabeza. I don't know how, like people might think they're like loca. I think the word loco comes from the moon. Luca. Lunatic comes from the moon because the word luna means moon. People might, this is the person or the energy of, you know what you know. It's making me think of Cassandra. There's a myth about a character called Cassandra. And Cassandra had wisdom, had intuitive, instinctual wisdom, like the women who run with the wolves that Clarissa Pinkola Estes likes to write about, or like to. There's an instinctual knowing and an intuitive knowing, and Cassandra was someone who knew and who spoke on these things. And no one believed her. That was her curse. She would get gaslit. She would be disbelieved. She would be sent to her room in the dark, in the dungeon. She would be cast aside to, not be taken seriously. So this energy of the moon, it's very much like, did you see that or didn't you see that? Was that really what you saw or what you didn't saw? But you know what you saw. You know what's up. There's no secret about it. But if you talk about it, it's very likely that you could be, by reflecting the truth with this card, if you reflect the truth that is known, that is supposed to be hidden, a lot of times you're not going to have a super fun experience like this. You're going to have an experience more like you better hide. Because you're not supposed to be saying these things, or it's that kind of an energy. Okay, so then we go to the suits. So in the tarot, there's suits kind of like in a regular playing deck. You got hearts, you got spades, you got diamonds, you got clubs. So in a regular playing deck, you also have the suits. So water would be hearts. So water, here we have the Nine of Cups. He's pretty smug. There's a lot to be grateful for still. Gratitude is the attitude that the universe uses to manifest. I like to think of it like that, but there's still a lot to experience. There's still, like this year, there's still a lot of good stuff to have, to enjoy. But there's also a lot of emotion. And so that leads to emotions. Sometimes instead of feeling them, we think them, and they keep us up at night when we're thinking about them instead of feeling them. If we feel an emotion, somebody said it only takes 9 seconds to get through an emotion. And I always think about that. If you just let yourself feel it, you'll get to the other side of it so much faster than if you sit up quiet about it and letting it keep you up at night, but there's going to be a lot of this year, and it's about remembering what you already know. You came to this planet with knowledge. There's a history of knowledge that you know, and when you go to bed to dream about all that is good that you can have still, that can work out. Don't go to bed to stay up all night having nightmares. So what I'm getting from this is stay off your phone, stay off the internet in bed. I'm speaking to myself here. Get off of the doom scrolling, the algorithms are set to give us all the emotional experiences that we're supposed to experience in a day, but it's designed to get us to buy things, to manipulate our emotions. There's a wonderful tutorial on something that I want to learn about, and then there's a cute little pet video, and then there's something super sad and scary that says don't leave the house, don't leave the country, everything's scary, and then there's something happy again, and there's something that makes you cry, and it's giving all of these emotions so quickly. And a lot of us see a lot of this stuff before we even get out of bed. So keep the things that have to do with communication, that have to do with technology, keep it out of the bed. Just keep it out of there. If you find yourself up at night, just get, set a small little light and get up and go read until you feel better. Read something that makes you feel good. Read history, write history. Remember what you came here for. There's a lot to dream about. The water has to do with dreams also, and there's a lot still to remember in our dream world, and don't let that get taken away from you. You need that. We all need that. We need that collectively. And we're in the time of Aquarius right now. Pluto moved into Aquarius, first time in 260 years. And we have this new moon here in Aquarius right now, and I'm speaking to you. This is a time of hope. And this is a time of creating the nucleus for hope. And don't forget what your dreams are. They're still possible if you remember them. So stay with them. Here's the Nine of Cups in another form. This kind of reminds me a little bit of a story that people are familiar with the movie, and people wear a lot of green in that movie. Good things are still possible. And this person is wearing growth. So growth is still possible. It almost looks like they have a teacup on their head, but it's some sort of, it's interesting drawing. So we also have the Nine of Coins. The Nine of Coins is, I think we're going to see people using fashion as an outlet this year. Putting on the pretty things. Maybe people are going to be recording themselves more and fixing themselves up more. When they do go out, they're going to be, dressing up more. There's definitely going to be a pressure on how things look. Recently, I heard someone say something like, you can tell just by looking at them who they are. And, there's something to be said for that, because for a long time, how people look has mattered in regards to how good or bad things work out for them. Which one is this one? So this one is the Nine of Coins. Let me see if I can find the Nine of Coins here. So, looking pretty, being out and about. So just being aware. I think there's like a sense of being aware, being out and about, putting the best foot forward, trying to be our best when we are out, and trying to just, I think people are going to be, I think fashion is going to be a thing this year. Nine of Pentacles. 9 also is a number of, it's not the entirety of completion. 9 is not 10. 10 is when there's completion. 10 is when there's actual disconnection from the previous story and a moving on to the new story. 10 is the culmination of all of it. More so than 9. 9 is there's still hope. 9 is also experienced as, let's see if I can find this Nine of Wands. That was the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so there's also the Nine of Wands, which has to do with fire, is a picture of someone carrying a big burden on their back. It's a feeling of like, oh, I've come so far. I'm getting that song of, well, I'm so far. I came so far, I'm not so far, and in the end, it doesn't really matter. I had to fall to lose it all, and in the end, it doesn't really matter. So that's kind of like this, but then that energy of like, oh, I've come so far and fought so hard for so long. It's this exhausted feeling. I don't have the card portraying it, but try to remember, take little breaks, realize coming so far and fighting so hard and coming so far for so long gives one the ability to have a sense of mastery over what they know and what they've done. That experience isn't for nothing. Even, if all the money in the world might feel like it's against us or for us, there's still ability. There's still more. There's still more. So don't take it personally when the friends don't want to come out to play. Even if they are coming out to play, because some of us believe that we're going towards this kind of place and this kind of place. Recognize that people might not want to get super deep with everybody. They're going to keep their depth internal. They're going to be sharing it with those closest to them or figuring it out for themselves for the first time. So yeah, that's what I got so far for the cards of the year. It's not super, last year it was really, there was so much that I had to say because there were two conflicting cards of the year that were very opposite and very, very on par with things that were going on in the world, and it's pretty intense. But I hope this finds you well. If you have cards of the years or takes on cards of the year, drop a link and I'll watch yours. I'll show you mine. You show me yours. It's so much fun to share tarot and these archetypical stories. So kudos and happy year of 9. Say 9. No. The word 9, I think in German means no. So yeah, the Hermit's definitely saying no to going out. But anyway, so yeah, thanks, and I look forward to seeing your interpretations of the cards of the year.